4 months after that is when my daughter actually had a suicide attempt. And that was like the peak of the crisis. I'm going to my own therapy. I would subscribe to being high functioning anxiety. I'm the one that gets shit done. My husband had just took a job, that meant he was gone. And we just had a baby. And my daughter is in her own mental health breakdown and raising our nephew. So all these little kiddos depending on me at home, and I have a business of employees depending on me.
Tell your story, tell it loud. Tell your story, let it out. What broke in you can break the chain. What healed your heart can heal the world again.
My name is Jasmine Mincer-Luss, and my story worth sipping to is about coming back to myself. So there's this moment where I'm sitting in the car, and on paper, everything in life looks great. Like I'm showing up for my health, I'm showing up for my family, showing up for my business, yet still just recognize feeling deeply, deeply sad. I couldn't put my finger fully on it, and if I tried to track, it's like, why are you sad? Like everything's actually working in life right now. And it was the moment that I realized in stopping and asking myself that question, I heard an immediate response from this other part of myself of, it's because you told me to go sit down. That moment of like, I could have sworn I was doing everything right. Like I'm talking to people, I'm going to my own therapy, I'm meeting with my personal trainer, I'm doing all the things, again, checking all the boxes, and yet still ended up here. And that part really sucked. So that leads, this whole story kind of goes around to this meaning, I don't know if you can see, of this tattoo that I got of having a compass that I can always find myself back. And I will never, and I promise to never let myself get that lost ever again. So my compass came out of a deep meditation that I did either shortly after, I'm sure, where my northern star is God, and I have compassion, peace, and hope. Recognizing what it is that I need to make sure that I don't go too far out of bounds and again, get completely lost. Because that type of deep sadness is just, it's not good. It's sometimes hard to, it was hard to even say or even own that I was sad. I would subscribe to being high functioning anxiety. I can get things done, my mind's going, I'm a doer, high achiever. I'm the one that gets shit done. Like that's just who I am. That's who I be. Subscribing to being high functioning depression now, it's like, ugh. So for context, this is during a season where my husband had just took a job that allowed him to travel, which is great. But that meant he was gone, and we just had a baby. And my baby was, at this point, at that point, 8 months old. And my daughter, 16, is in her own mental health breakdown. Getting her to all of her appointments, trying to keep her alive, and raising our nephew, who was in his own struggle of transitioning. So all these little kiddos depending on me at home, and I have a business of employees depending on me. That's a lot, and me depending on myself. So part of that conversation, I realized I was doing all the things, checking all the boxes, because that's what the last Jasmine said, keep doing. These are the goals that you're working on. This is what you keep going, you keep doing, you keep, tracking your meals because you're trying to get healthy. You keep working out, you keep all these pre-existing goals. And that's great. It was beautiful. Gold stars. But I didn't check with the current Jasmine, who was trying to keep all that stuff together and what she actually needed. And that's who said, like, you're pushing me back. She's like, oh. So I'm trying to think of where to take the story from here. This is where you have to. Without going too far into the weeds of everything, there was just all those pieces of what I had to discover about what she now needed in that season. The beautiful blessing that came out of that hard moment was then that was the doorway that led me on that discovery of how do I now get back, right? Because we're already doing the things that look good on paper. So what now? What am I supposed to go do now? What's the good thing to go do? And that was a process of listening and talking to her more, having this continuous conversation to see what it is that you need, not just generally, but what it is that she needed just in each moment. In each moment that because crises were still happening, life was still happening. It's like, so what do you need me to do right here about that? Instead of just like showing up and like, da, 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 superhero on the moment, like, what else do you need? What do you actually need? And listening to her. So it was 1,000 small moments that really led to healing on that, which paid dividends because 4 months after that is when my daughter actually had a suicide attempt. And that was like the peak of the crisis. So I'm like, okay, we're not disappearing again because we already said that. We're not, no, like we do need to show up. We do still need to take care of her. This is the crisis. But you cannot like step all the way back. So did all the things, got her to all the places, still taking care of all the other littles and all. Their own thing going on. It was crazy. That needed their own attention. I was like, no, we're not going to fade into the background again. And when she was settled in residential, it's crazy. It's crazy. And the crisis when things are boom, 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 boom. That's not when my body said, we need help. It was when she was settled. And I get all these heart palpitations. I was like, I'm having, I was having at least at that time 16 to 20 palpitations an hour. That's a lot. Like the little, it's like we. So that confirmed. I said, nope, nope, nope. We're not going to die putting other people ahead of us. Now, so after coming out of this season of listening to her, this felt like now I need you to really do it because it's quiet now. Now I need you to actually figure this shit out. And as crazy as it is, all of that was still a really good blessing because without pushing my thresholds and knowing like how far off it can go, I wouldn't have even been able to build out and see what my capacity is. You know, it's kind of like that once you fall, you know your lowest. Without that fall, without that push, without that moment of like, I wouldn't have known like this is how far you could actually take it because I am a doer. I can keep on going, but we don't want to go to that level. So now my little compass helps me because I had to build out the systems. We're not going that far. I now have to figure out where my capacity limits are. Like if we start feeling stuff coming up, it was really making this new mental map of who I am instead of learning to just push through all these things, learning where I actually need to pause. And I know that can sound so cliche, but in practice, that's what it actually looks like. It looks like, oh, I feel that that's weird. It's not loud, but that doesn't feel the normal of me and my functions. Like so, let's listen to it, even in crisis, because it's still that situation was a whole thing. Crisis don't allow us to always pause. That can feel like a luxury. So you do still have to keep going. That's the reality of life. But figuring out, all right, I won't push you back and ignore it. Right now, I can't listen to you, but I promise you, I'm gonna listen to you later. And that's the routine that has really helped right now in this day to day because life is going to keep life in. I love all of my lessons. I promise you, they are very crappy in the moment, but I still look at this like, I know you want me to learn something from this because I learned so much from falling in the past. So what is it? What is it that you want me to learn? So building that out, now I can pause and say, okay, what do you actually need from me? So I hope this story helps. Yeah.
The hardest thing when you're in like crisis after crisis after crisis. What's the hardest thing?
Not just that car moment, actually living it day to day. The hardest thing, there's a lot. The summary, the hardest thing was feeling alone in that. Feeling like everything I had to figure out on my own, which is now that I know, and it's a complete limiting belief. I'm sure there were people all around who would have been willing to like jump in and help, especially being a mental health clinician, having a mental health crisis. I'm now the expert in my house of who can handle this thing. You've navigated this before. So there was a lot of unspoken expectations. Would it be that? The unspoken expectations that I accepted was the hardest and also one of the biggest lessons because now talking to her, I get to realign what my expectations are, even if other people don't understand what that means, why you chose that, shouldn't you, all the, you're not living in my house. Let me show you what we're gonna do because this is what this house looks like. And to still have all that this story, all of this was 3 years ago, so far but close enough where to see the outcome that all three of those kids who are in my care are good. They are where I need them to be. They are where they needed them to be, where they are responsible for their own lives and their own outcomes because of that moment of, I can help you, but y'all gotta, I can't own this. This is yours. I gotta own my stuff because my heart. And I think I was telling that stuff out loud to them of, we're not dying over this. So this is your life. This is what I can help you because they're all minors. Oh my gosh, they're all minors. I'm going through all these crises. So being the mom, the aunt, still the parent figure, navigating crises situations and minors' lives who don't have that full autonomy but still need to be trained to be autonomous is absolutely insane. That's one of the unspoken expectations from hospital systems. That's a whole other story. But that's the systems of support echo so much that you have to be the one in charge. They can't make this decision. We absolutely can empower these people to make decisions with their lives, with the choices that they've made. And being a mental health provider in this, so being, I'm sure any other health provider, if their family goes through something, they might notice the same things of like, oh, it's like, no, 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 no. Treat me like the parent in this. I am not on the treatment team in that way. Treat me like the parent. Come to me with guidance, with things that you think would be good for them, with your own treatment plan and expectations. But to show up there is like, oh, so you know this. You can advocate. You can speak the language. You can do. No. So having that moment in that car took me to, I get to be the parent. And I started telling that to them. It's like, she needs to use her voice because she's there deferring to me as well. Everyone's deferring to me as the expert. Not in this situation. Right now, I'm walking the walk. I am not the clinician in this situation. It's like, so that, it was all these thousands and thousands of small moments that really led to healing of essentially how I got to show up differently because I realized I pushed her back. And she said, I don't want to do that. She said, I was succeeding.